Hey, what's going on, you guys? Your boy with the Jew Fro here, and we're back with popular demand, guys. We're doing an episode 2. For those of you who are new to my channel, I grew up as a Hassidic Jew, and pretty recently I did a video where I broke down scenes from different movies and TV shows with Hassidic Jews in them, telling you guys what Hollywood got right and what they got horribly wrong. To be perfectly honest with you guys, I did not expect for this to get the amount of success that it did. Thank you guys so much for whoever watched this video and subscribed. Wow. And in perfectly good Jewish fashion, I had to follow the money. So I'm making an episode 2, where I'm going to break down more scenes from TV and movies with Hasidic Jews in them, telling you guys what's what. Guys, before we get to this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow me on all the other platforms. Look, I don't want to beg, but I'll do it if I have to. I mean, don't make me, please. Anyways, guys, without further ado, let's get to it.
You a man of Shevitz. Straight up.
Alright, this is a scene from the classic cult movie, The Hebrew Hammer. It's about this rabbi who fights crime, like all good movies are. I wanted to stop this video because here's something I've seen in a few movies. Jews ordering Manischewitz or drinking Manischewitz. Manischewitz is nasty. Jews don't drink Manischewitz. I mean, have you ever seen a bottle of Manischewitz? It's brown. It's literally brown. There are a lot of really good kosher Jewish wines. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but the one wine that stuck for some reason was Manischewitz. My family did not grow up drinking Manischewitz, like for Friday nights. I want to dispute this claim for any Hollywood execs that are thinking about doing a movie about Hasidic Jews and they want to throw in some Manischewitz wine. Don't do it. None of us drink it.
You know that spitting is the #1 cause of germ transmission in the continental United States? Just a FYI.
We usually don't serve your kind, but since you had the balls to walk in here, tight, I'll pour you one more drink before we lynch you.
Sounds good. You know what? Let me get the black label.
You ever talk about proud?
You guys take shekels? Just got back from a trip to Israel. All I got is a fistful of shekels. It's 57.33. That was a pretty good year for me. Shabbat shalom, motherfuckers!
God damn, brother, you kicking ass.
Taking a page out of Sweetback's book.
Mm-hmm. They read your mama, they read your papa, but they won't read you.
That's it.
Right on, man.
I don't think this movie ever thought to go for accurate. I don't think that this is the movie that was going to depict Hasidic Jews right down to the T. It's such a silly premise. You can't be offended or take it serious. But if we were going to look at Hasidic Jews, yeah, I mean, this is the quintessential Hollywood way of putting together some rabbi or Hasidic Jew. I mean, you have the fedora hat, but then you have the long sideburns, which don't usually go together. Usually the guys with the long sideburns have the big round hats, and the ones that wear the fedora, the ones that I grew up with. There are different types of Hasidic Jews. I said this in the previous video, but the ones that I grew up with are normally the guys you might see asking you if you're Jewish on the street. Those were the guys that I grew up with. And they're different from the guys you're used to seeing in a lot of these other movies. And look, I wasn't lying when I said Manischewitz is brown. Look at that. I love the idea he throws down shekels. That's just hilarious. That's just... So you see that he's wearing the shawl around his neck, that what we call a talit. What's really interesting about that is you see it in a lot of movies, rabbis wearing it, but that's not actually an Orthodox version. And for whatever reason, a lot of these movies, they choose to use the ones that just go around the neck and shoulder. But those are usually worn by Reform and Conservative. And the Orthodox Jews who wear those things, they're usually a lot bigger. Overall, you can't get mad at something like this. It's ridiculous, it's over the top, and it's just fun. I cannot tell you how many people asked me to review the show Shtisel. I have not really seen it, but I decided to take a scene from the Netflix show that portrays Hasidic Jews. Now, with Israeli shows, they usually do them pretty good because, of course, it's in Israel, and Hasidic Jews are a big part of Israel, and so they usually have a much better idea how to work with the source material. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to take a look at a scene from Shtisel and break down with you guys what I thought about it.
מה זה, רוחמי? מה קורה פה? מי זה?
מזל טוב, אבא. זה חנינה. בעלי. אנחנו התחתנו.
מה?
עוד מעט נספר גם לאמא.
כן, אבל מה זאת אומרת התחתנתם? מזל טוב, הרב וייס. קידשתי את הבת שלך. קידשת את הבת שלי! אני אפילו לא יודע איך קוראים לך! הנה טוניק, מזל טוב, מזל טוב.
בסדר? בוא נלך מכאן. אבא, אם תרצה לבקש סליחה ולהגיד מזל טוב, אנחנו בבית כנסת וילנה.
רוחמי, אני רוצה שתסביר לי מה קורה פה. רוחמי!
By the way, I didn't notice this because I don't really watch the show, but that's the same girl from Unorthodox. She's a pretty great actress, so it's really funny to see her in both these roles, where in Unorthodox, she's running away from being an Orthodox Jew. In this one, she portrays an Orthodox Jew, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, as I said before, a lot of these Israeli shows, they have a much better idea of how to work with the source material. So these guys do a really good job. There's two different types of Orthodox Jews, actually. There's the one, this woman and her father, who's introducing her husband, I guess, that he doesn't know about. They're again, Hassidic Jews, the ones that you'll see usually in Williamsburg, and usually movies portray them. But this guy's not a Hasidic Jew. This one is what we call Litvak, or Litvish. He's an Orthodox Jew, and there's a difference. These types of Orthodox Jews, their ancestors came from Lithuania. Yes, there you go. If you're paying attention, they usually do wear the fedora, the ones that I wore too, but they also have those sideburns, and they put them behind their ears. The Hasidic Jews over here, they grow them out really long, and the ones that I grew up with, they have smaller sideburns, but they keep them in front. These types of Orthodox Jews put them behind their ears. Interesting enough, as I said before, I grew up with a sect of Hasidic Jews called Chabad. And Litvish and Chabad were kind of rivals, believe it or not. We have like a long history of kind of not getting along, in short. Different philosophies, to say the least. Yeah, you won't really hear this, but yeah, in the Orthodox Jews, there's kind of, not everybody agrees, you know? We're kind of like, it's kind of like the Red Sox and Yankees. Like, there's kind of a real rivalry. It's obviously not as bad as it was back when my ancestors and their ancestors in Russia, but different types of Orthodox Jews, kind of with different philosophies, where we butt heads somewhat. There's a whole history that I could really go into it, but I won't here. In short, though, Shtisel does a really good job. From what I've seen, they do a really good job dressing these guys up, making them look like Orthodox and religious Jews. And we're in a lot of the other movies in Hollywood where, even if sometimes they get down how they're dressed normally, once they start speaking Hebrew, it's broken. You can tell right away that these are not religious Jews. Here, I mean, they're Israelis, so they know how to pronounce all the dialogue and all the Hebrew super well. Next!
Virgil sees none of it from his tiny cell. He marks time by reading.
Annie Hall.
Until one day a new opportunity arises.
We need volunteers for an experiment. The doctors want someone to be inoculated with a new vaccine. It's never been tried on humans before, so we don't know what the side effects may be. To be honest, you'll be taking a chance. As reward, there's a parole. I'm sure there are some among you brave enough to take the risk.
With parole as inducement, Virgil submits to the vaccine test. It is a success, except for one temporary side effect. For several hours, he is turned into a rabbi.
And so, the reason we celebrate the Passover holidays by eating matzot is to commemorate the time that Moses led the children of Israel from Egypt.
That is just beautiful. That is just ridiculous. From Woody Allen's classic movie, Annie Hall. That is absolutely a hilarious joke. Yeah, Woody Allen, kind of the quintessential Jew. You know, it's kind of interesting because when Hollywood wants to portray Jews specifically, they kind of go through two different things. They either have like Orthodox religious types of Jews where they dress them up in like these big beards and, you know, weird hats. And then there's like the New York type Jew, which Woody Allen or Larry David, where they're not religious in any way, but like they're the quintessential Reformed Jew from the 50s who talks nasally and doesn't really know a lot about Judaism, but has a lot of the Jewish tropes. But if we're taking a look at this guy's ensemble, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like your basic rabbi costume that you'd find in the Parties Are Us. All right, so the next scene I'm going to show you is from the movie When Do We Eat? And in this scene, I couldn't get a really good recording, but I really wanted to show this because it kind of personifies Jews who are called Baal Teshuvah, Jews who weren't religious and then became religious. Yeah, they're kind of making fun of the idea that some of these people, not all of them of course, but there definitely are people that come into being an Orthodox Jew and they just expect everybody around them to become Orthodox with them. You know, a lot of people around you aren't as passionate as you are, so I kind of like the way it makes fun of it. Again, I couldn't get a really good recording, but I really wanted to show this scene because I thought it was hilarious. So, let's take a look.
So, this is Grace, a.k.a. the matzah bearer. Sorry, you can't touch a woman unless she's related. What is that, like a rule or something? That's so rude. Yeah, not to mention arbitrary. Leave him alone. He's a good Jew. And what about you? Hey, Dad.
Oh, that's a beautiful hat. Why do you gotta look so Jewish? When the Nazis come, they're gonna take the blackheads first.
Okay, a lot to say here. First of all, the guy who plays the religious Jew here is Max Greenfeld, who plays my favorite character, I think, in TV, from one of my favorite shows, New Girl, Schmidt. He does a really good job. I've kind of flipped back and forth. I remember when I saw this movie for the first time, and I thought that this guy looked so much like a religious Jew, and the older I got, the more... his costume is not as good as I thought it was, but... Normally, if they were to portray this type of Jew in a regular movie and they were to make him just a plain religious Jew, I would think they got him wrong. But because they're portraying this type of Jew who became religious, you know, kind of the things that don't look right actually work to his advantage because he's new to becoming an Orthodox Jew, so his Hebrew is not so good. Kind of the way he's dressed and looks, it looks a little bit off, but it kind of works to his advantage, and it portrays a lot of the Jews who become Orthodox pretty well, because a lot of the Jews who become Orthodox, you know, it takes some time for them to really get used to wearing a lot of the attire and making it look as if, you know, making it look like they've been wearing it for a really long time. So specifically this type of Jew here is the types of Jews that I grew up with, the Chabad Jews, the guys who talk about the Rebbe you hear in this clip. And he does a pretty good job. He actually really does a pretty good job, and I like the idea. As I said before, he comes in and he comes right in as he comes in. He's already putting up that mezuzah on the wall without even asking his parents, and you see his dad just getting pissed, holding his hammer, pretty much about to kill him. It's a really funny scene. It's a pretty ridiculous movie. I watched it. I can't say I loved it, but there are definitely pretty silly moments in it that, if you're curious after seeing the scene and want to know what this movie is about, I'd go check it out. So, yeah, guys, that's it pretty much. If you enjoyed this video, or if you have any other clips you'd like me to break down, let me know in the comment section below, guys. Leave a link, or let me know, because if I have enough clips, I could do a third video breaking down more of these types of scenes. Once again, guys, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much again for all the people who watch and enjoy my videos and who continue to subscribe. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, because you deserve it. L'chaim.